Hello, and welcome to Temple of Falspot. Where decks are not optimized, but our plays sure as heck are fun. I'm Andy.
I'm Bruce.
Yeah. And today we got a deck tale. Woo! And am I... That's me cleaning my glasses off. Am I seeing this right? We got another Karlach in the house?
Another Karlach.
She's a popular lady, Bruce.
Andy, it just tells me that you and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to deck building. And now that we're on opposite sides of the country, we're not necessarily restricted by what the other person builds. So,
yeah.
Boom. So we both built Karlach. And just so folks know, we didn't do it because the other one was doing it. We both did it independently. Andy built it first. I had no idea that Andy had built Karlach. And I opened it in a pack. It was like, this sounds great. Let's start building this fine lady.
So, if you're unaware, I built a Karlach deck. We talked about it last season, about 7 or 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
For those unfamiliar, Karlach is 4 and a red for 5/4. She's a tiefling barbarian. Whenever you attack, if it's the first combat phase of the turn, untap all attacking creatures. They gain first strike until end of turn. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. She also has choose a background. Choose the background says you can have a background as a second commander.
I've gone for the mono red version. My background is Dragon Cultist. This is a legendary enchantment for 4 and a red. You'll note, same cost as Karlach. Not my brightest move. However, commander creatures you own have, at the beginning of your end step, if a source you control dealt 5 or more damage this turn, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. I opted for more dudes.
Bunch of dragons.
Give me a dragon so that I can then swing in with this 4/4 dragon twice, making sure I've dealt more than 5 damage.
I've got the deck list linked below. So, off the bat, some cool cards that I've noticed. I'm like, oh, I have that one in my deck. I have that one.
Yes.
Seize the Day. Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent choice. You just kind of chain those extra combats together. How many combats have you chained together in one turn?
I've had an opportunity to put 5 combats in one turn, but managed to turn that down because of where it was going to leave the board state. For me, the trick with Karlach is I really don't want to take out one player.
Mm-hmm.
I have a personal issue with, if I'm playing in a group game, to take somebody out so that that person can then sit there and watch the 3 of us then duke it out for the next hour plus, because Karlach killed them, and then on the following turn, someone else killed Karlach. So now I've got to try and rebuild and restart.
Right.
So I try to avoid that. So when I get the multiple combats, I try and spread it around as much as I can. Yeah, so I've generally tried and spread it around. I did get 4 combats in a turn in one game. So felt a little badly for the one person I hit twice, but
Yeah.
No one else did, so there was that.
Yeah. I that was an issue that I ran across with mine as well. It was, and granted, with mine, I also had Kedis on board. Kedis is always like a nice way to kind of even out that I'm doing all the combats, so that you turn that 1 death into 3. But people tend to say that comes out of nowhere. I don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, Kedis is sitting right there on the board.
Yeah,
it's very clear.
Yeah,
it's very clear. Just because I didn't repeat it for all of you before I swung the first time.
Hey, I made it through. Do you have anything that you put in this that surprised you? That went, oh wow, this did a lot more than I expected it to.
Yeah. I know this sounds a little lame. Strength testing hammer.
Mm-hmm.
A 1-mana equipment. It equips for 3. Whenever the equipped creature attacks, roll a 6-sided die. That creature gets +X+0 until the end of the turn, where X is the result. Then, if it has the greatest power, is tied with the greatest power among creatures on the battlefield, draw a card.
That doesn't sound dumb at all.
Well, when you get multiple combats,
Yeah, it
you roll the
stacks.
die multiple times. So a lot of times on your second combat, you are going to have the biggest creature because now you're getting that much extra bonus. You're drawing multiple cards because you're drawing a card at each combat if your creature has the biggest power.
Mm.
So it was it was a little surprising. Like, I mean, I knew that I put it in there. That's kind of what I thought it was going to do. But to see it go off that way, when you go into your third and your fourth, when you're going to your third combat, which is just not that difficult to do,
Mm-mm.
there's a lot of times when you are drawing that card. Um, I've had a couple of times when I've put strength testing hammer on a creature other than my commander. Um, and it had no way to get through. I just put it there because it was already the creature with the biggest power that I controlled, and I wanted to make the power big enough so that I could draw some extra cards. So it was a nice add there. And honestly, when folks look at it, it's not Sword of Fire and Ice, where everybody's like, oh, that's a sword of X and Y. We need to pay attention to what that does. They might not even know which sword it is, but they know it's one of those swords, so people get aware of it. When you play a card called Strength Testing Hammer and it's from Unfinity, it draws a little less attention.
Yeah.
And folks are just not expecting it to do a lot. And sometimes it just makes a creature bigger, and it kills an opposing creature. Maybe then they weren't thinking of it, and that's enough. But it's a nice add-on. It's proven to be a little more than I thought it would be. So
Yeah, it's interesting because it's like as long as you're getting a single extra combat, so 2 combats a turn, um, you are getting on average +7, which
yeah,
is crazy.
yes.
Go ahead.
Another one of the creatures or another one of the cards that I really like, Trailblazer's Boots.
Mm.
And I know folks will read those. So 2 mana equipment equips for 2. Equipped creature has non-basic land walk. This card is just criminally underplayed all around. If you've got a card that gets a benefit on doing combat damage, you really should be running this. This card basically says your creature is unblockable. Nobody is playing with all basics.
No,
Even a monocolored deck is
like this one.
still running non-basics. Exactly like this one. I've got plenty of non-basics.
10 of them.
The card is so good, and in a deck where I'm looking to swing multiple times, something you have to pay attention to is how much damage your creatures are taking. On that third swing in, your creatures might only need to get hit by a 1 power creature to just be dead with in that combat. So having a card like Trailblazer's Boots means that you've got a creature that's swinging in every single time, and just they're not taking damage. So you're getting that benefit over and over. Trailblazer's Boots is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So
I really like Embercleave.
yeah,
Embercleave is just the total package with regards to what you want to be doing, because especially if you're getting double combats, double strike in addition to double combats and trample, is just excellent. And the fact that it's cheaper during combat is just it's also a trick, right? Like it's like a one time like haha, and then it's bonkers. It's bonkers in this situation.
it is really hard for an opponent to complain about you playing Embercleave during the combat. I
Mm.
mean, it's so much. I mean, it costs 6 and the equip cost is 3, or it costs at most 5 and no equip cost. You have to play it during your combat. You have to play it at flash. Maybe you weren't intending to do that much damage to an opponent, but it is what it is, and that's how you have to play this card. Embercleave, whenever it comes out, I almost feel like it's almost too good. It is so effective.
Yeah.
So effective. I mean, Karlach swings, add Embercleave. Okay, now I've got a 6 power double striking commander
with trample,
who can attack again the next time. I mean, okay, it doesn't take much math to figure out if they're not blocking this. I mean,
yeah, it
that's
goes from
24 with 2 combats.
Yeah, it goes from 10 to 24, like that,
real fast. So, and again, Embercleave you're playing it at flash, so it's not like your opponent even recognizes that that's what's going to happen. So it can be truly miserable. But I've tried to be careful with when I play and how I play it. So,
or your removal package is interesting. I like Argentum Armor. I like the idea that the deck revolves around this idea that you are doing something with Karlach. Like,
right.
You're putting, equipment on her, or you are targeting her, or, I mean, hell, you can put Argentum Armor on any of the 25 creatures or whatever that you have in this deck.
We talked about deck building. We talked about the 9x7 package. And I said removal is one of your standard packages, but it doesn't have to be the same group of removal cards every single time. Argentum Armor works better in a deck where you're swinging a lot. This deck swings a lot, so it's in there. I'm not fooling anybody. I am fully aware that it costs 6 and the equip cost is 6, and this deck doesn't really have any ways to cheat that out. So, it's probably not the best deck, but wow, does it ever fit theme? It just does. I mean, when you pay the 6 to put it out there and your opponent reads it and they're like, oh, all right then. So what you're saying is that your commander's going to hit for 11 and you're going to destroy a permanent on both of those combats. And that's the best. And again, that's best case scenario for me. Excellent. Great. I'm glad to hear it. The other nice part with Argentum Armor, it doesn't have to be the person you're attacking. So if you can't get through on another person, well, okay, so this first combat, I'm swinging at you. But I'm swinging at Andy, but I'm taking out, John's creature. And on my next combat, I'm going to swing at John because now he doesn't have that creature. And it's when I attack, so now I'm going to take John's other creature that he would block with and destroy that one as well. So now I've gotten rid of both of John's creatures, and I'm now swinging in at 11 commander damage on John. When it gets rolling, I mean, you start to, you can understand why it costs 6 and 6 more to equip.
Oh, for sure. And I think too, especially like, like I said, you can put it on anything in the deck. You've got a Tali, you've got Combustion Man, which is like one of my favorite newer cards. Combustion Man, for those who don't know, because it is new. 3 red for 4/6. When it attacks, destroy target permanent unless its controller has Combustion Man deal damage to them equal to his power. So add an Argentum Armor, he's a 10/12. So it's like, well, I can either have it destroy that thing, or you take 10. I think the crazy thing with Combustion Man especially is that it doesn't say non-land. Now, you're not going to be targeting lands all the time, but it's an option. Get rid of that Maze of Ith, get rid of that, whatever.
Absolutely.
It's an option.
Yeah, I don't see Combustion Man as a way to, do mass land removal. But yeah, Maze of Ith, any other non-basic land that's messing up your line, get rid of their Rogue's Passage. I mean, I want a Rogue's Passage, but they don't need one.
Yeah. And I mean, like, are they going to want to take 4 instead? Like that's at the base.
Right.
I love that card. What have you found to be the biggest hurdle with this deck?
Oh, that's easy. Anybody who looks at this deck is going to be like, wow. And every time they say wow about one of the cards, they'll look at the mana cost and go, oh, because the deck's curve is far too high. It is far too high. I have uh, I have a significant amount of ramp, but honestly, even some of the ramp costs too much. It just the deck works so slowly. I don't generally speaking, I am a non. I'm just a non-participant in the game until I can get enough mana to get Karlach out. And if I'm playing against opponents who've dealt with Karlach in the past, you can't play Karlach when you first get 5 mana because you need to find some way to protect Karlach.
Mm.
So now I'm waiting until turn 6, turn 7, and this is assuming that I'm hitting land and playing mana rocks all before. Well, I mean, by turn 7, my life total is probably down around 20 or under. I mean, we're already well into mid game and possibly even closing in on an end game before I get to start doing stuff. It needs to ramp faster. It needs other cards so that I can be playing the game before Karlach gets there. It should not become so heavily reliant on Karlach as it is already. So
yeah. I think it's interesting too because there is this idea with some of the categories that you have here, where sure 40% of your ramp is either 4 mana value or higher.
Yeah.
That's hard to get around.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, one of the another card is Descent into Avernus, which doesn't actually take off until the next turn. So half your ramp doesn't do anything the turn it comes out.
Right.
Or half your ramp doesn't do anything until turn 5, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got your protection, which is much cheaper, or it's cheaper. But the protection, generally speaking, and correct me if I'm wrong, is your protection, not protection of your permanence. So it's, a lot of goad stuff or like look over there type stuff.
Yeah. There's a Whisper Silk cloak in the pile, and that's nice. But, if somebody is just looking to get rid of Karlach, there is not a lot I have to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Which, I mean, oh, yeah. At least you are aware of your deck's, downfalls.
I've had a chance to play it now about 5 times.
Okay.
And each of those times, these same issues that we've just talked about here have all come up.
Mm-hmm.
Once Karlach becomes a true threat and we get towards the later game, somebody's got removal. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So, and when Karlach costs 5, I mean, I've paid 9 for Karlach, but you shouldn't have to pay 9 that fast.
Right.
It's like, oh no, what has happened here? And, folks know. They know that you get rid of Karlach and it's only, Bruce is only swinging once. So.
Yeah, and then, I mean, like, on top of that, too, you only have really, like, one haste enabler in anger.
Yes.
And that has to get to the graveyard. God forbid somebody exiles it.
Right.
So, like, it is nice because, like, the issues I've had with my Karlach is that it, like, it's like not hard to interact with, but it is sudden, it's fast, and then like if somebody tries to interact with it, they're already dead.
Right.
So like, obviously you don't want to like overdo it with haste enablers. But I think you're well aware that you need to find a balance, right? There's definitely some tankering that needs to go on here.
Yeah, when you've got a 5 mana commander, you need it to do stuff right away.
Right. Or
and I appreciate that Karlach can come out and just sit there while other creatures attack.
Yeah.
But that's not really what this deck is looking for. I want everybody coming.
Right.
It's part of the reason why the protection package is mostly goad.
Right.
Because I want people swinging all the time because I want them to tap their creatures so that I can get through. and I would prefer that they not swing at me. So that's sort of where that goes. But yeah, it's left me in a position where Karlach is a little too vulnerable and doesn't work as fast as she could.
Yeah.
So
where are you thinking of bringing your ramp package? Like what? Like obviously you said it was too high curve. I mean, you're saying that the deck is too high curve, but I think that red has plenty of ways around that. Maybe not necessarily like what is it? The medallion.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Ruby Medallion.
Right.
I mean, Ruby Medallion is in there. Hazoret's Monument is in there, but I mean, some of the cards in the maybe board just, real quickly. Felwar Stone and oh gosh, what was the
Curse Mirror?
Yeah, and Cursed Mirror. Those are two easy ones to drop in. I could talk about Fire Diamond. I'm not sure that I'm as excited about enter the battlefield tapped mana, but there are other options that can come in that are 2 and 3 mana cost that could replace some of this, and then there are others that just don't make sense. I love Neheb, but I'm not really sure that Neheb makes a lot of sense. Again, it can get you a pile of red mana for a turn, but it works only when things are already running. Sometimes we need stuff that gets you to that point where things are working. So if Neheb is only going to be hey, this works really well and advances the board state even a little bit faster, that's great, but I got to get there. So that can be a bit of a challenge. So,
and I think with that as well, there's, if you don't mind, I have some suggestions.
Yeah.
For red, I think Treasure works really well.
Yeah.
There are cards like Professional Facebreaker.
Yes.
Which is a 2 and a red, menace, 2/3. Whenever one or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And then you can... it's got more utility, sacrifice treasure to impulse draw. My favorite is Sticky Fingers, which is an enchantment version of Professional Facebreaker, where it's a single red mana, enchant aura, enchant creature. Enchanted creature has menace, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And then when that enchanted creature dies, draw a card. So it's never, like, unless the creature is removed before the Sticky Fingers hits the battlefield, it's never really like a dead draw. And I think that giving any of these creatures menace on top of also netting you mana is like pretty sweet. So yeah, just a few that I had written down.
And as far as land, I guess I could get rid of Mountain Stronghold.
Nah.
For folks who don't know, Mountain Stronghold is a land. It does not tap for mana. No mana at all, not even colorless. And all it says is all your red legends may band with other legends. There aren't that many red legends in this deck, but it's also the only mono red deck I have. And I've had this card for years and it has never gone in a deck. And I wanted to put it in a deck. So I decided this is the one. Karlach and Drakaseth Maw of Flames or Jurin leading the charge could in theory have banding with other legends.
Yeah, I just counted. You have 13 red legends in this deck, which is
it's even more than I thought.
Yeah.
And no, I have never used the ability. So
compared to you have 23 creatures in and of themselves. 13 being legendary is more than half. Keep it.
Yes.
Keep it.
Yes.
And
I'll do what I can.
I mean, you have 30 basic mountains in this deck, which is exactly what you want with Valakut. So
right. I knew I was running Valakut, so the goal was to try and keep as many basic mountains in here as I could. And I appreciate. I have had a game where Mountain Stronghold came out, and it would have made that it would have made me enough mountains to use Valakut, and I had Valakut out, so I have paid for having Mountain Stronghold in the deck. But oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of this goes to show, like, if you out there are interested in building this deck, the land is where all of this, most of this, uh, price comes from. I mean, Karlach herself is $30, but
Yeah.
um, if you already had a Karlach, say, or you drafted, Battle for Baldur's Gate, um, and you want to throw together the rest of this list, like, I would say the land is probably the easiest thing to kind of manipulate. Throw in
Yeah.
39 mountains and the Temple of the False God, and this deck plays almost exactly the same.
Right. I mean, my land in Architect right now, my land is listed at 152.50. Yeah, but I have a $15 Inkmoth Nexus. I have a Mountain Stronghold that's basically $7.50. A Nykthos that's $70.
And then Valakut, which is
And
21.
Shinka the Blood-Soaked Keep is $19.
What the heck?
Valakut is 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cost of this, you can take that 150 and knock it down to about what, 12?
Yeah,
Easily.
That. I mean,
yeah, if that.
30 mountains and the Temple of False God knocks the whole land package down to $1.
Right. And honestly, if you can't afford the temple, give me a call. I have a spare. I can send it to you. Because this deck itself right now is listed as 544, but you can probably knock 150 off of that.
Easy.
Bring it down to 400, and that's still running a bunch of. There are plenty of cards in this deck that the deck could probably do without. There are two different swords of X and Y in this deck that could probably both come out. If you're looking to make it a little less expensive. The other thing I like about this deck is that it very much is something that you can build with the cards you have.
Yes.
We're just looking for cards that can either creatures that can swing, or creatures that get a benefit from swinging, or cards that get a benefit when you have creatures that swing. This is just, there are a lot of those out there. There are plenty of options. Will your Karlach be the top level Karlach? No, but that's not bad. Just, you can build this with what you have, and I think that's that's a nice thing. And honestly, Andy, like you, with the background, you've got all sorts of variety.
Yeah.
I picked mono red because I've chosen the red background. You can choose a different red background. You can choose a different color background and make it two colors, and then go that way. Whatever works for you. There's a lot of flexibility with this build. So
yeah, and I think what's exciting is that it is very clear in what it's trying to do. Yeah. I think Karlach is a very good commander with regards to just like, you're bringing something new to the table, because I think that we have an overabundance of value engine commanders.
Yes.
Commanders that are being produced specifically for commander, and it's encouraging a lot of players to just kind of twiddle their thumbs and tap and untap things that they've got, and just kind of they're playing solitaire at a table for 4, and I think encouraging people to attack and attacking is a great commander.
The other joy is Karlach can be built as Voltron, or it can be built to go wide. You can definitely load this up with a lot of mid power toughness creatures, so that when Karlach hits the battlefield, you're now swinging with those creatures, and you're not swinging with Karlach. You're treating Karlach like an enchantment that comes out, and just go that way. There are all kinds of options. I mean, just because I have a number of ways to, make it so that Karlach is the one doing all of the damage doesn't mean that your deck has to do the same. So
yeah, and I think the thing that I always forget, and that always is such a nice surprise, that when she attacks, she gives herself first strike.
yes.
So like, as long as she's attacking, she's got first strike, and as long as anything else is attacking with it, it also has first strike. So
right,
that's
it really allows you to swing multiple times.
Yeah.
When you're looking out at your opponents, it's like, oh, okay, I can survive that combat without first strike, but my creatures will take a lot of damage. Or I can just play this and all my creatures get first strike, and now I could swing at this person and wipe most of their creatures off the board if they decide to block.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing to keep in mind with Karlach, when you swing at one of your opponents and they do have creatures that they can block with, if you let that opponent know right off the bat, it's like, oh, by the way, this is the one and only time I'm swinging at you this turn. I will not be coming back for a second helping. So I would prefer that you not block. Because I want my creatures to then swing at somebody else. Or I want you to have ways to block somebody else next turn. So you can, as silly as it sounds, Karlach can be very political.
Mm.
And, so when an opponent is looking at this, deciding whether or not they should, triple block one of your creatures to finally be able to kill it, you'd be like, well, hang on a second. Let's not go there. How about we do this and I'll swing at someone else? Yeah, you can. There's all sorts of things you can do to make the deck work in a different way. So
for sure.
Yep.
I could go on about just the importance of combat, but I think
we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah, we'll do that in a couple weeks or something.
Yep.
So that's gonna do it for this deck tale. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you press that subscribe button, or like it, or write down in the comments below what you would make Karlach's background. And if you say one of the blue ones, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up. I'm gonna like it. No, none of the blue ones are all that interesting, but prove me wrong. We're going to be back next week with a cool episode, a cool topic. Surely. I mean, it's us. We're Temple of Falsepod. We're decks are not optimized, but our plays sure as heck are fun. I'm Andy.
I'm Bruce.
Yeah, you are. Thank you again for listening, watching, whatever. Have fun playing some Magic, and may your 5th land be the Temple.
Bye!
Wait, before you go, I just wanted to say thank you for listening. You can reach out to us via email at falsepodmtg@gmail.com or Blue Sky @falsepodmtg. Bruce is @manaburned, and I'm @Andy Weekend, though you'll definitely notice I use the podcast Twitter far more often. Now that we've got you here, make sure you subscribe, like, rate us on whatever podcast platform you use. It helps us out. It gets us more reach. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Like a video there. Leave some comments for more casual enjoyment. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back with some more timeless discussions about all things casual. So come hang out, and may your 5th land be the Temple. Bye-bye. Should I do my best, Bruce? Bye!